Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us tmosso@the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this Rolex Certified Pre-Owned Oyster Perpetual Sky-Dweller. And we are talking about the Sky-Dweller. This is the 326139 white gold on a strap. This particular variant of the Sky-Dweller came out in 2014, 2 years after the standard model debuted, and was discontinued around 2018. Not many of these were sold, and it's considered to be a rare variant. So this is highly collectible, but also highly practical. It's a lot like a big Datejust. If you ever thought of the Datejust as a set of lines and proportions rather than a size, you would recognize the resemblance. Of course, this is an annual calendar and a GMT, so it's also highly complicated. The watch is 42 in diameter by 14 millimeters thick. It is a span of 50 millimeters from end to end with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. And you can see that there's this little end piece that goes under the bezel and in between the lugs to make sure that there's no gap between strap and case flank, so it's very cleanly integrated. We have a large black, slightly distressed pattern, symmetrical rectangular scale alligator leather, a high-grade cut of the beast. You can see it right here. There is bolstering to give it volume. We have a monotone stitch, and then we have a edge that is very narrowly folded. It's not quite shear cut. It's a different treatment. It is a folded edge. Looking at the bottom, you can see calfskin. It is a Rolex factory strap. We have a matching white gold clasp. It has a lift lock system built in. So the way this works is you have this little spring-loaded and articulated head with a beak, and then there's a hook, and these two things snap together. Now, what you can also see is that because this is on a strap that's not designed to be cut, Rolex gives you a lot of flexibility. There are 5 sets of divots inside the clasp, so you can use your strap tool to dismount the spring bar and move it back and forth. And of course, we're not going to let a strap get in the way of a good time if for whatever reason the strap isn't your size. We'll get another one from Rolex that fits. We are Rolex Certified Pre-Owned, so we have that access. Now, the timepiece is made of gray gold, which is an 18-karat white gold alloy that's white all the way through. It's not rhodium plated. It's not a different color. If you scratch it, it's the same color all the way through. Beautiful, polished, sinuous, curvaceous, and complex curves. We have a twin lock crown in gold. We know that because it has 2 dots. Screw down crown. The watch is 100 meters water resistant, so on a water resistant strap, you could swim with this. Now, this is not quite as luminescent as the post-2017 Sky-Dwellers. You can see it does have the hour and minute hand loomed. Another interesting feature here, in addition to the radially arrayed white gold Arabic numerals, the matte anthracite dial. It's not quite black, and it's definitely not glossy lacquer. It's a very distinct anti-glare aesthetic. The watch does feature white gold Rolex coronet, the numerals, and in the hands. These elements will never oxidize or tarnish. Interesting about how this watch works. So the bezel, which is known as ring command, is actually part of the movement, and it is mobile. In the first position, I can wind the watch, but nothing else. Now, the watch, if you pull the crown out to the second position, nothing happens here until you turn the bezel 1 click. Let me show that again. 1 click counterclockwise. Now, I have the ability to adjust the date forward and backwards. And you see how the annual calendar works. 12 hours, 12 months. There's a little red index that moves through the aperture adjacent to each numeral. And then there's the date. So this is 9/3. So this is September 3rd. And it is bi-directional. And it is incredibly durable. Rolex designed this to be simple and also hard to break. And they accomplished both. But you notice the watch is still running. Okay. The next step is to go another click counterclockwise. Now I am able to adjust the local hour hand. And you can see I can adjust the date forward here, but not backwards. And the seconds hand is still moving, which means the watch is not hacked or it's not in stop seconds mode. 1 more click counterclockwise. Now it stops the seconds hand. Everything moves in sync. So the way you set this is you see this little 24-hour horse collar-like second time zone? Well, you set that first. So let's say it's 8 a.m. in my reference time. Let's say it's 8:20. Now, 1 more click clockwise. I am going to set my local hour, which is going to be 20 after 6 a.m. And then finally, I can set my calendar to whatever date and month I like. Bring it all around, full circle, turning it fully clockwise. Put the crown back in the winding position, wind it up. The watch is automatic winding, but it has a 70 to 72 hour power reserve, which is outstanding. 3 days of power reserve, automatic winding. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer, and Rolex goes above and beyond that, adjusting the watch as a fully cased watch in 6 positions. So consider the COSC to be the minimum, not the maximum. 4 Hz beat rate, 40 joules, an immensely complex system with an annual calendar, which means this calendar only needs to be corrected once a year during the jump from February to March. You have the 12 and 24-hour double time zones. The 4 Hz beat rate, you've got a full balance bridge with a free sprung balance for shock resistance, an overcoil hairspring for isochronous operation in every physical position. That's what an overcoil gives you. And then that overcoil hairspring is a blue oxidized niobium zirconium alloy Rolex calls Parachrome Bleu, which makes the watch incredibly anti-magnetic, in addition to water resistant, in addition to shock resistant. This watch is the full package. People ask, Tim, what does the case back look like? And well, it looks like that. It's a solid disc of gold. We'll throw it on my wrist so you get a sense of the fit of the watch. It's not perhaps as big as you might suspect. On my wrist, it wears quite nicely, and I would even go so far as to say that if your wrist is a little bit smaller, like mine, 16 centimeters, the strap wears better because you don't have the end links of the bracelet, so this is a better fit overall. Very comfortable and surprisingly flat and flush with a sloped bezel. It will actually fit underneath dress cuffs. A combination of elegance, but also masculine presence. It's got impressive stance without being oversized or overwrought. And to this day, one of the most complex Rolex watches ever made. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.